Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Monday night leadership call. For those of you who are on the call tonight, of course, you're asking to take your business and life to another level. So we're so excited to have you here tonight. And I have the pleasure of having a guest tonight. She's a dear friend and colleague of mine. Her name is Miss Joy Schonholz. For those of you who don't know her story, Joy has been in network marketing for over 10 years. She was in a previous company with me as well. And I know her for over 8 years, I believe. Since I've met her, she's been a single mom. She has two amazing daughters, Sophie and Isabel. And she became the 191 millionaire in Isagenix. So it's an extreme pleasure. She just rank advanced to, is it 8-star, 7-star? 7-star?
7-star.
7-star. And for those of you who don't know what 7-star is, it means she makes a lot of money. So that's maybe $10,000 to $13,000 a week, possibly, if she maxes out in just the cycles. And I'm truly amazed by her because she's overcome so much, and I want her to kind of share her story. But since I've known her, I know she had battled with a little bit of cancer in her life. She overcame that. She overcame the obstacles of being a single mom. She has a real estate background. I know she's a very giving, loving person. She's a vegan, that I know, and she loves animals. We were talking today and she was telling me to come over. She's having a little farm in her house. She just moved to a new home. So Joy, just share a little bit about your story and then maybe I can ask you a few questions.
All right. First of all, thank you so much, Susie, for having me on your call. I'm very honored that you asked me. I wanted to let you know that. And he's licking my ear. And 7-star is actually, I don't know if because the maxing out is 8-star. So I just wanted to clarify that. And I also, what I love about it means that when we get to that level, that we really have a hand in changing so many lives. And part of what I love about this is I love inspiring other people. So I feel that our circumstance are only our circumstances if we create a story around that. And even though I've had a lot of challenges in my life, I still feel that instead of getting stuck in the story around it, it's really powerful to move past it and create that life of abundance and prosperity. Oh my goodness, sorry. And, bliss that we really all deserve because we get to do that. Oh my goodness, come on, you were quiet the whole time. Come here. He did this at my team call one time, and I literally had to get up like so many times. So I'm going to put it out there that he's not going to do that this time. But Susie, do you want me to, let me just get him, okay? I mean, this is part of the beautiful thing about this, right? That we work from home and we could do whatever it is that happens in our lives. This is part of life. So Simon, get over here. Okay. So Susie, did you want me to share specifically, like, what do you want me to share specifically at this point on the call?
Well, why don't you share a little bit about your story, how you got started with Isagenix, and then possibly, I know you've had a lot of personal growth and personal development and how that's been a key role in your success with network marketing.
Absolutely. I work more on myself than I do anything else. And although I've had a journey where I've done so much personal growth and it started so many years ago, I still work on myself to this day because I feel like we never arrive, right? It's always a journey. I started Isagenix in 2011. I had just come back from Haiti. I was volunteering with children in a school in Haiti. I was there for 4 days. And when I landed, I got a call from my endocrinologist saying, Joy, you've been, we got the results of your test and you have thyroid cancer. And, when you hear that and you hear that word, everything changes for you. At the time, my daughters were 7 years old, they're twins. And all I kept thinking about and what was flashing for me is I want to be around for them, right? I'm a single parent. I want to be around for them. And, realizing that I had to have my thyroid removed and having surgery. And then once having the surgery, gaining the weight and feeling lethargic. And I feel so grateful, that Lisa reached out to me and she told me about Isagenix. And I wanted to be aligned with a company that followed my values. One of my daughters has a learning disability, and I'm very particular as far as products in my house. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to not be that dumpy mom, because I started feeling like I gained weight. I didn't have energy for them. And I trusted her and I said yes. And I jumped in. And like all of you, Simon, come on. Like all of you, I got results. I got results in my third day of being on the products. And I had realized that not having the energy and not being able to even have financial means at the time, I was that mom that had a Ziploc bag. And sometimes I've had a Ziploc bag with coins and change having to go to the supermarket. And I remember one particular instance, I pulled up to the supermarket and looked in the back seat, and there were my girls. And I looked at them and I knew, oh my goodness, we're going to go in there and they're going to be like, Mommy, can I have this? Mommy, can I have that? And I didn't have enough money. So when I started Isogenics, there was a point where I didn't have the finances, I didn't have the health, I didn't have the energy, and I was looking to create something different in my life to get different results. And it happened. I got on the products, I got great results. I advanced, I want to share this with you guys. I advanced pretty quickly in my Isogenics career and promoted rather quickly to Crystal Executive. And then I got to 4-star Golden Circle, but yet it took me 3.5 years of being a 4-star Golden Circle to finally having that shift and promote to 5-star and then 6-star and then recently 7-star. But it had so much to do with, working more on myself than I did even the business, and really taking a good look at myself. And it's, what, guys, it's not always pretty, right? And I always say personal growth is about bringing the mirror this close and taking a really good look at ourselves without judgment, and being able to get the tools through workshops, through trainings and books, to be able to get the tools to shift on what's not working about ourselves, to have it be working. So it's been an incredible journey. I mean, I can't believe, and you know what, I was in it from the beginning with you, Susie. Steven's on the call tonight too, and it's incredible to look back and say, wow, going from that space where I left an unhealthy marriage. I was a single parent since the girls were 2 years old, and having that story of, oh my goodness, I'm that single parent, I'm that struggling single mom. It doesn't have to be that way. And one of the things that I've recently really embraced is being totally myself without giving a fuck. Excuse the language, but it's me. I curse sometimes, and now my daughters know, like, that's mom cursing. Like, sometimes I curse. And it's being unapologetically me. And when you are that, people get attracted to that. Those people that belong in your life are going to be naturally attracted to you. So, some people are not going to like everything about you, and that's okay. But if you are authentic in every fiber of your being, you're showing up that way, the right people will be attracted in your sphere, in your circle of influence. Energetically, they just feel that. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And it's your vibration is what's attracting the people to you.
Exactly. And what happens is, even the organization, even your team, they start feeling that. And in turn, they start stepping into their authentic selves too. And I really feel that that's what happened recently. I think about it and I'm like, it's very surreal, and I'm sure you see it sometimes yourself, Susie. You're like, wow, how did I get to this level? And then you look back and you're like, wow, there were so many little challenges. And I always say life is a series of experiences, right? All linked together. And sometimes those experiences aren't that great. And this is how I view life, right? We're born, everything's great, something happens, we fall down, and we have a choice. When are we going to get back up, right? We get back up. All of us get back up in different points. And then we're walking again, everything's great, boom, something happens again. You fall back down, you get back up. But all those experiences linked together is what creates our life. And then it's our choice. What are we learning from all those experiences? And I don't know if I'm going off on a tangent. I kind of feel passionate about this, but if we understand that that's how this is, our journey in this business, it's so parallel to our lives that if we trust that journey and not compare ourselves to anyone, that we will get there no matter what. And it's really about never quitting. Because if I had used my story of oh, here I go again, struggling financially again, leaving another network marketing company, which I did, starting Isagenix with zero income. I don't get child support. It's like, if I got wrapped up in that story, where would I be? So it's very liberating, and one of the words that I've been using lately is the word surrender. That's like a big word for me, just to surrender to not having so much control about everything. I don't have to know how it's going to look every step of the way.
Yeah. See, when you're talking about all the circumstances and things that are happening to you, I was actually having a conversation with Stephen today about this. It's the personal development that I feel like helps you to come out of those situations a lot quicker. So before, you used to sit in your shit for, however long, and then you get used to the smell and that becomes part of your being. And now it's just like you tend to realize that this is not where I want to be, and, move forward from that. Do you agree?
I totally agree. And, we talk about this, and some of you here have done some of the workshop that I've done. I know Susie has, I know Stephen has. And, we talk about being below the line and above the line. And below the line is all these, feelings of, fear, anger, anxiety, hatred, jealousy. Like, that's all being below the line. And above the line is bliss and happiness and acceptance and compassion. And we all get below the line. But the fact is, how long are we staying there? So it's a choice. When you get below the line, how long does it take you? For me, sometimes it took a week. And I've gotten so much better, because now it could be, less than a day. It could be maybe a half a day that I'm below the line, because now I'm more aware. And with awareness, that's when change could happen, is when we're aware. When we're aware, like, this isn't working for me, the way I'm being is not working for me, that's the powerful spot and space when we could actually have a choice to shift on that. Susie, it's crazy. Like, I actually was thinking about it today, because I went to check on my farm animals, and I had a friend of mine visiting from the city, and she's like, I can't believe this is your life. I was born in South America. I lived in a big city. I lived in the city in Manhattan and downtown Brooklyn. And here I am on the east end of Long Island with 5 sheep, 2 goats, a donkey, and a pony, and it's crazy. But this is the opportunity that's available to us, is to not give up, not give up on everything that's like passionate inside of us. And this is such an amazing vehicle. Like, I'm sure all of you on the call could relate and could agree that Isagenix offers us so much possibility in our lives. And I believe it's our responsibility to succeed so that we could inspire other people. So now my passions, it went from inspiring single moms to not just inspiring single moms. Like, I have this new passion. I became a vegan in the last few months. I've been a vegetarian since I'm 18. And that's a long time. But in the last few months, I chose to be vegan. And now part of my passion is I want to inspire people that may want to open up a sanctuary. I'm in the process of setting up a 501c. How amazing would it be for people that are in the conversation? I would love to open up a sanctuary. I would love to rescue animals, but I don't have the money. So I want to be that person that inspires them to say, get out of your own way about that conversation that you don't have the money. Here's a possibility for you. So it's become bigger all the time. It's single moms. To inspire single moms is great, but that's not the only thing I want to do. I really love inspiring people in general. And now I have this newfound passion for like animals and rescue, and it's pretty cool.
So tell me a little bit about how you can cast a vision to your team or to somebody that you're bringing into, your vision, and rolling them into what Joy sees with Isagenix.
Well, Susie, with the vision, everybody's got a different vision, right? So what I'm doing now is I'm speaking from my own passions to align with people that are having the same passions, right? Because we can't attract everyone, right? The way that I'm looking and the way that I'm building my business now is a lot through attraction marketing, where I want to attract people that's in alignment with me, with my vision of animal rescue, being vegans, and also single moms that are really like badass single moms. I'm not looking to attract single moms that are in conversations of victim, but instead I'm looking for single moms that are conversations, or I am attracting single moms that are in conversations of victory. So for those people, I'm painting the vision of what's possible for them with that same, the same passions. What I would offer to us though is when you're painting the vision for someone, that you don't paint them your vision by asking them questions. And are you asking me that, Susie? Like with
exactly.
Okay. So when you're speaking to prospects, speak to their passions, paint the vision for them for what their passions are. And you won't know that unless you ask questions. And that's one of the things that I'm really working on mastering. I mean, not really who's ever really a master in anything, but to really mastering as much as I can is being able to ask questions so that I could have more information to be able to paint the vision specifically for what's going to resonate with that person. Because we all want different things.
Exactly. And I was talking about this with the team over this week and how we are always asking questions just quickly to reply. We're trying to find the answer, but we're not listening to hear what people are saying to us. And it's so important to ask so many questions before qualifying someone, because it's not one size fits all. It's what are they looking for? And that's so important. I'm glad you touched upon that.
Yeah. And I do ask, I love asking questions. I love people, and it's important, I feel, in this business to really have a love for people, right? So the more we know about them, the more that we know what makes them tick, what they don't like, the more we're able to have, have an offering for them with this, because that's really what we have is an offering. I've really released the fact of I have to enroll everyone. I'm not in that space anymore. I'm in a space of, I'm offering a gift. And I don't just mean with the business opportunity, I mean with everything, because not everybody's committed. And, really, if you look at the world, 80% of the population have issues with commitment, have issues with keeping their word. So we're really looking to attract that 20%.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. So tell me what you do about personal development. How do you, what are you doing? Taking classes, reading books? What do you suggest for the group?
Well, I definitely recommend doing something every day. We always say at least 20 minutes a day, definitely books. But I will say there's nothing like being in a workshop, and whatever workshop might resonate with you. But there's something about having an experience of something, being able to really absorb it. I think it's really important, whether you're going to a Tony Robbins event, like I did the Unleash the Power Within. I think that was 2 Marches ago, not last March, the March before. And even though I've done so many other workshops, just being there with 4,000 people, the energy, you walk on fire the first night, that was incredible. And you learn so much about yourself. And I teach my girls so much of what I learn, because I really feel that they're the future. Of course, they're the future, but imagine all of us teaching our children what we're learning and what's going to happen with the direction of this company. I'm already seeing it with Peter and Eric. Peter's carrying Eric's child and their child, and look at the future of this company. So I love inspiring the children, especially with personal growth. So I take them to events. My daughters have been to some of the events that I've gone to, and some of these events, they've seen people cry, and it's part of teaching them to be vulnerable. And I think that's a big thing with personal growth. We say so much, like, you have to do personal growth. You have to do personal growth. And I bet you some of you are like, well, what the hell is that? Do you know what I mean? Like, really, what is that? And I just think it's about learning about yourself, and whatever it's going to take, whether it's workshops. I mean, for me, I've watched the movie The Shift by Wayne Dyer so many times now. I own it. That movie makes a difference for me. Watching The Secret 30 nights in a row while I was going through my divorce, that did it for me. That was really like, part of the opening of what was going to shift in my life. So at every point in our life, different things are going to help us and support us through it. But personal growth means something, different for everyone. I trust this is making sense.
Absolutely. So how does someone like you, Joy, who is in a real estate field, you were not in network marketing before the last company and this company, struggling as a single mom, struggling to make ends meet, you're not getting the child support, you're not getting support from anybody else. You know, you decide to make a decision to come over to network marketing. You kind of, you know, do your own thing. You're not, you know, doing what everybody else is doing. You're kind of against the grain. And how does somebody like you go from 0, you know, to 7-star?
It's so funny because it feels like, it doesn't feel like it's been quick. It doesn't feel like it's been easy. It's been for me when I got down, and there's been times, I'm going to tell you, there's been times where I remember one time I was on the floor, literally on the floor, kind of ready to even give up on life. My girls were very young. It was actually before Isogenics, but I was in another network marketing company, and it was just overwhelming. The bills were overwhelming. The stress of going through the divorce was overwhelming. Very scary, you know, very scary having 2 little ones that were just about 2.5 years old, 3 years old, and you're on your own and you're like feeling very lonely and very, very alone. And sometimes it takes a call from someone. And that point, the phone actually rang. And at that time it was my mom. And she heard it in my voice, and she just said, pick yourself up. And I remember what she said to me. She said to me, it was 9:00 at night. My girls were sitting on the couch looking at me like, what the hell is going on with mom? And I was like having a nervous breakdown literally on the floor of my living room. And my mom said, I hear it in your voice. And I told her what was going on. She's like, I want you to pick yourself up. I almost feel like it was divine intervention because my mom never speaks like this. And she said, I want you to pick yourself up, go to your office and make phone calls for your business. And I did. And it was so difficult at first because I didn't feel it was authentic for me to speak to somebody when I was in that space. But it definitely got me out of my funk, and I'll never, ever forget that. So sometimes it's that, or maybe it could have been, you know, I might have had an awakening or some kind of an aha moment, but at that particular instance, it was my mom saying, get up. And what I want you to know is sometimes when you are down and you're in the dumps, making phone calls for our business is possibly what's going to get you out of that funk. And one of the things I want to share about this, Susie, is gratitude. Gratitude is so huge. And that's another thing that I did, because all I kept looking at was all the stuff that wasn't working in my life. Oh my God, you know, this is so difficult. This is horrible. I don't have the money, and I have all these attorneys asking for money and all my bills, and they towed away my car. I remember one night they took my family car away, you know, like they repossessed it. And I said, I guess I was tired. I was tired of being the victim. And I went out and I got a notebook, and I decided that every night before going to bed, I would write what I was grateful for. And actually, I just moved and I just found that notebook. And the very first 12 entries, I wrote the same thing every night. And it was one thing only: I'm grateful for my girls. And it was every night, I'm grateful for my girls. But then what started happening was I started finding other things to be grateful for. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. You know, I'm grateful for my girls. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. And then it was, I'm grateful for my girls. I'm grateful for the roof over our heads. And I'm grateful for food on the table. And I found that notebook recently, and I just had chills because I feel gratitude is such a huge part of having someone have success in their lives.
Yeah, that's awesome. I totally believe in that myself. And do you believe, let's talk a little bit about events. Do you believe the events are key? Are they, you know, instrumental in building your business? Or are they something maybe, you know, that are not as instrumental?
Absolutely key. It's not just to connect with other people. There's so many variables to going to events. You can't possibly feel the energy. You can't possibly feel the immenseness actually of what's happening with this unless you're actually present in there. You could watch it from the comfort of your living room. It's not the same. And everyone that's on this call, if you've been to events, you know it's not the same. You have to be there. And if you are committed to your, and I don't even want to say business, if you're committed to yourself, because if you're in this business, you're committed to yourself, to something in your life, right? You have whys, you have reasons for being in this. So if you're committed to having a life of choices and freedom and in abundance, then make sure you get your ass to an event, because if you're not there, then you're really not committed. And you might want to check in with yourself and say, well, how committed am I if I'm really not showing up to this event? And if you're okay with that, then that's okay. If you're okay with not being, committed to having this be the vehicle for you, because that's what it is. It's a vehicle for our lives. It's not my whole life, but it's a vehicle for it. And believe me, I've gone to events sometimes where I was like, I have so much going on at home. I can't believe I have to go to this event. But you know what? I get my ass on the plane and I go, and I'm always, always so happy that I did, because it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. And to the people that you have enrolled, you have a responsibility to be there for them more than anything else, to be able to say, hey, you know what? Look, my leader's there. And if you don't have anyone on your team there, or if you don't have anyone on your team yet, be there so that people get attracted to being there with you. Because as you post on Facebook, as you post on social media, the people in your network are going to start saying, hey, look, so-and-so is there. Look what they're doing. I feel it's important to do the action steps that you are requesting from your team members.
Exactly. And I didn't want them just to hear it from me. So that's why I wanted to, have you speak on that. So I want to be mindful of time, and I want to give a couple of minutes for anybody on the line who wanted to ask Joy a question or had something, they wanted to find out from her or share from her.
Oh, I didn't even see the chat. Look at that. I just stand on your story.
If anybody wants to ask a question, I've allowed you to unmute your line.
No?
Joy?
Yes?
Thank you so much for sharing all that. You have no thyroid.
Who's speaking? Let me see who's speaking.
Colleen.
Oh, hi, Colleen. I no longer have thyroid. Hi. No, it was removed in 2011.
Because I have two women who are balking at this. One bought some shakes and said, oh my gosh, I went to my endocrinologist. My numbers have never been higher. The only thing I've been doing different is the shakes. I'm like, and she's been telling me, I'm so tired. She's a young girl, got 2 little kids. And then my neighbor across the street wants to do this so badly, but the iodine level. And what is there how, I want to know what you say.
Well,
so I mean, talk to them. Because I have hypothyroid, but it's nowhere near what they're going through.
Well, so they don't have thyroids, but here's what I would say to that. First of all, people are always going to make excuses, right? There's people will use, I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but there are people that just kind of will use any excuse for anything in life, right? What I did, Colleen, is I actually took a shake container, a container of Ionics, and a container of Cleanse for Life to my endocrinologist when I first started Isogenics. And I didn't say, can I take these products? I said, I'm taking this product line and I would like you to monitor me on them. And he looked at the products. He loved it. And as a matter of fact, I just had an appointment recently and he said, he's still like, he knows the products. He thinks they're amazing. He hasn't been on them yet. It's pretty funny. But he did say to me, Joy, you're one of my few patients that has really maintained her weight. My levels, my synthroid has never, like, it stayed the same. Like the level of the synthroid, the amount of it has stayed the same pretty much all these years. It's over 5 years. And he's pretty amazed at like how, like I have energy, I'm fit, I'm healthy. Like he's pretty amazed that, that I've been 5 years like this without a thyroid. I would offer them, Colleen, to actually, first of all, I can't even believe that the shakes is doing that to her. She's probably, I don't know what she's doing. You might want to ask her questions, but I highly doubt that that's what's happening from the product line. And the iodine level, I never even heard about that. So
yeah, I mean, the iodine level does say 40% for one shake, which if you take 2 shakes, it's 80%. But I spoke to a doctor from the Science Talks last year at Celebration, personally, and he said iodine is a necessity, a necessary mineral that we need every day, and the shake should not at all come near what like an above level for her. So she's just making an excuse. However, you know, she really wants to do this, and the verbiage you used, I gave the nutrition facts for everything to these girls, sent them links to it so they could print it out, and said, this is what you're going to say to your doctor. I want to use this. I want you to monitor me. So I used all that verbiage. Neither one of them have gone to their doctor yet. One's going tomorrow. But this one girl, she started dieting when I started Isogenics because she didn't think she could do Isogenics. She went and lost 50 pounds. Now she's going through a divorce, okay? But her hair was falling out, literally.
Colleen, can I say something to you about this?
Yeah.
All right, I don't know how you're going to take this, but I feel like let me speak from me. I'm looking for people that are going to be resourceful, both as team members and as product users. Mm-hmm. I used to research, give links. I don't do that anymore. Now, Susie, I don't know, how much you want. Like, I don't do that. So guys, I'm just letting you know how I operate now. I will no longer run around, try to justify anything at all for anyone. If someone is committed to their health and there's enough evidence out there between all of us, before and afters, testimonials, that if someone is creating back doors for everything, then actually I don't even want them as a customer. Does that make sense?
Okay. I agree 100%. Thank you for saying that, Joy.
You're welcome. Because I heard you, Colleen, and it feels like you're so vested into them that you're almost more committed to their, you know what I mean? Don't be more committed to them being healthy than they are. And if they're full of bullshit, then you want to let them.
It's hard because we're told, what, meet them where they are, like it's a service, we're serving them. So
I agree, Colleen, but you don't have to run faster than they do. So, you meet them where they're at and you let them go when it comes to a certain point. Like, you can't run faster than they are running. Does that make sense? You can't do more for them. You can't want it for them more than they want it for themselves, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yes. And you know what? Exactly. And, some of us know this terminology, like letting go of what you have to have what you don't have. You're holding on so tight to them that you may be missing out on 2 other people that will be so committed to getting healthy that they're going to jump on board, use the products, love it, and share with others. So sometimes you have to let that go to be able to draw in and attract those that really are going to appreciate what you have to give to them, what you have to offer.
I want to jump in really quick. This is Chrissy. Colleen, I used to do the same thing you did. And when I stopped doing that, and it was part of a personal development journey, but now that I no longer do that, I don't attract those kind of people in my business. Every single person reaches out to me. Every single person knows how to use the website. Every single person speaks to their doctor if it's necessary. If you make that part of your enrollment process, you won't have people show up like that anymore. I used to do everything for everybody. And basically what happens with people who are not fully committed, they fall apart anyway. They drop off and you've put in all this time and they're no longer part of your organization after a while anyway. You want people who are going to do it self-taught. They're take the bull by the horns and do it themselves. So I promise you, if you stop offering to them, chances are they may come to you after you stop giving so much. Then they'll be attracted back to you, or they'll just come back in a year, and you'll already have a whole new team. Believe me.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, Colleen, I want to add to that because I've witnessed Chrissy. I've witnessed Chrissy, holding on so tightly to someone, and the same thing. And I've seen such a shift in her where she's released those that have been weighing her down. The level of people that she's attracting, she enrolled 9 people in 30 days. And it's because of all the shift that she's been doing. So what I would offer to you now is maybe try it on. Try it on where you're like, you know what, I'm not going to do so much. Let me at least try it with one person and see, and kind of like step back. Sometimes we need to lean back for someone to lean in. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's with everything, guys. It's not with psychedelics. It should be with all relationships, I believe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for answering that. Anyone else have some questions or something they want to add?
Yeah, I have a question, Suze.
Go ahead.
So Joy, in the beginning of your journey with Isogenics, where did you kind of prospect? Was it strictly on Facebook or, did you have events or things like that?
Is this Ashley?
Yes.
Yes, Ashley. Okay. Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
Well, hi. In the beginning, I actually left another network marketing company. So I did have some people, not everyone, some people that follow me. But the majority of people that I first enrolled were actually from my daughter's school.
Okay.
And I was ignorance, that terminology. I was ignorance on fire. I was just sharing it with everyone. And it was a lot of parents from the school that I got on board. So that's where most of them were. Facebook, even though I was on Facebook, I was kind of stumbling through it. Not really, I don't believe I ever really vomited Isogenics on Facebook. I don't remember putting a lot of Isogenic stuff out.
Right.
But what I did on Facebook that I'm not doing now is I was holding back my vulnerability. I was holding back on Facebook being really authentic, and when that shifted, that's when other people started getting attracted.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it wasn't through Facebook.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Anyone else, guys? We have a couple more minutes before we wrap up.
When you said, Joy, this is Stephanie. Hi.
Hi.
When you said mom's group, like, did you like join the PTA, or did you go on field trips, or did you walk your child to school? Like, how do you, like, my grandson goes to a voice school, a school for arts. So I'm sitting in the waiting room with these people, and they just look so, the time is short, and they just look so like distracted, like if you talk to them, they're going to chatter, it's like, it's so hard to, some of these places where people have small children, because I'm a grandmother, so I'm over that, I don't have that stress. When I look at these young mothers, I think, oh my goodness, they just look so stressed out. Like if you talk to them, they're going to shatter. And I really don't know how to approach those kinds of women to try to build, because I see them every week, so I can, I can build some kind of rapport, but the commonality is like, that's my grandson and those are your children. I'm 60 and you're, 27. Yeah.
You know what though, Stephanie? I attract a lot of Gen Y. Chrissy knows I have attracted people in their 20s, and I'm definitely not in my 20s. I'm going to be 54 in April. So that doesn't matter, and I think that if you start thinking differently about that, because you're already, in the way that you're thinking, you're already putting a block to attracting them, because you're already saying, well, there's no commonality. Mm-hmm. We don't need that kind of commonality to be successful. The commonality we're looking for is people that are looking to inspire the world, to connect with others, who love helping others. Those are the, oops, hold on, my phone's ringing. Those are the people that, hold on a second. Hi, I'm doing a call. Can I call you back? All right, fine.
This is real life, guys.
This is real life. I pressed instead of pressing ignore, I answered the call. All right, what was I saying?
You don't need the commonality. You're looking for like-minded
Thank
people
you.
who are looking
Thank
to
you.
change the world. And
Yes. So Stephanie, so there was two things as you were speaking that I wanted to address. One is I never go out and look to get anyone. Like I want to get that, like it's not what I do. What I do is it's maybe innate. I love being in relationship with people. So sometimes you're going to meet these moms that are all like wrapped up in their heads, like, thinking, oh, what do I have to do next? May not be may not be the time to have a conversation with them. And that's okay. But I would definitely offer you to not be in your head that, oh, they're young moms, I'm a grandmother, there's not going to be a commonality. Because like I said, I've been able to attract a lot of Gen Y, a lot of millennials to my organization. So again, it's the questioning. I'm going to go back to that. Stephanie, when you're with those moms, start getting into conversation with them and make it authentic. Make it like, do you enjoy, waiting for your child? This, like, it's not small talk, but trying to find out more about them, not to find out more about them for Isogenics, but
as a person.
find out more about them, period.
Yeah.
Find out more about them. And I think that when we let go of holding on so tight of, I have to get, I have to enroll someone, when we let go of that is when things start happening. And when we stop comparing, I actually wanted to cover that, Susie, on the call tonight. I hope you don't mind. When we stop comparing ourselves, I was doing that. I'm not very organized. I'm not, and I was comparing myself to Alexis Romano for the longest time and Susan Sly, and they have these systems and they're organized. And I don't think that way. And I started beating myself up for not being that way. I started being like, well, why am I not like this? And then I finally made a decision that, you know what, I'm not like that, but there's other great things about me. And if I can't be organized, maybe I could find an assistant that could help me get organized and that could help me work out a system. And that's what I did. But it was when I decided, okay, I'm not an Alexis Romano, I'm not a Susan Sly with all these systems, but I'm Joy and I could make it work without being super organized. I started seeing changes then. So, and that's what I mean about the process in this. It's like every time you have an awareness and really acceptance of ourselves is so important. I feel like so many of us, and I don't want to just say women, but I feel, because maybe I'm a woman and I hear it from so many women, we are so hard on ourselves. And we really get to be a little kinder to ourselves and just people in general, Be kinder to yourself on this journey and don't compare your journey to somebody else's journey at all, because it's going to make you miserable and it's going to, in fact, hold back your business.
Exactly, that 100%. And, somebody else was asking, how do you attract the Gen Y people? I just really believe if you're truly, genuinely interested in people and ask a lot of questions to get to know people and build relationships with people, that's what this business is about. It's not about, finding out, if they're good for this business. It's finding out what are they looking for in life in general. Then you can kind of, show them your vision of what you are looking to create in your life, and they will get enrolled in that because you have a relationship with them. And those are the people that you want in your business. It's not just the people that who want to nitpick on every little thing or every little product. You want to build a community of people, like-minded individuals who are looking to truly change the world, truly make a difference, and, are really interested in people. And we're not here to be somebody's psychiatrist, but we're truly here to listen and to understand people. And through that process, we get to find, the cream always rises to the top. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. And the people that belong in our lives, will end up being there in our business, in our enterprises. Yes, I totally agree with that, Susie.
And if we allow people to beat us up every single day over every little thing, our posture tends to fall lower and lower. But if we stand in integrity and we know, what we have to offer, then you become 10 feet tall and bulletproof, and no one can even, say anything to you that's going to even compromise what you're thinking about what this is.
Exactly.
Can I add something to that? I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump in, but I wanted to just say, for example, when somebody in your upline, this is my own personal experience, when they tell you to do something or offer something that might work for you, when Joy and I first met, we had a couple of things in common. We like to go out to dinner and we like to travel, but we didn't really know a lot about, each other personally. But I trusted Joy. She built a relationship with me. And so when she offered to hire a coach that she had used, I took her advice and I did have a mentor and a coach. And then one thing led to another, and everything that she has offered me that has worked for her, I didn't believe in a lot of that stuff at first. I didn't know what personal development was. I thought it was hokey. But it shifted my entire life to today, and I'm so grateful that I had the mindset to actually listen to her. But it took a while for it to sink in. So when somebody that you trust is offering something, like Susie is offering these really great tips and lifestyle changes, just take it, go with it, and try it. Even if you don't believe in it fully, you'll find that your eyes open, the veil starts to lift, and it becomes your lifestyle, and things change.
Yeah, you just have to be open and ready. Thank you for sharing, Chrissy.
Yeah, thank you, Chrissy, and thank you for trusting me.
It's a big thing, so it's so worth it.
100%. Anyone else want to share or have a question?
I'd like to share if you guys don't mind. Can you guys hear me?
Hi, Janet, my sister.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I just wanted to offer you guys too, again, personal development for me. Joy had offered it years ago, and I told this on one of our other team calls. I thought when she was offering it, and I'm so grateful that I finally listened, was that I thought it meant I was broken. Mm-hmm. And I thought, why does she think I'm broken? And I remember thinking that to myself, and I thought, no, I'm good. And for a while it was like, wow, not even so much that I thought, it was like Joy judging me. It was like myself judging me. Mm. And I realized that when I started to, I started working, a lot of people know I work with a mentor, and I've been working with him for 3 years. I can't even believe it. July is going to be 3 years. And we still, we do a coaching call every week. And we call it, peeling away layers of the onions, or going deeper and finding different distinctions of ways that I look at myself. And to this day, it's amazing, because now I celebrate my little accomplishments, where I used to beat myself up and only look at the things I didn't do, as opposed the things I did wrong, and not look at the things I did right. And, a lot of what Colleen was saying, I used to do a lot of that stuff, hold people's hands and do that and run their auto ships and stuff. And it exhausted me, and it didn't really get my business anywhere. And it was because I guess for a while I thought so little of myself that I thought I needed those people to grow my business. But when I started to look at myself where I valued myself first, then those people started to fall away, and it was okay. Instead of holding on to them so tight, the people that fall away just are not in my resonant field anymore, and they don't vibrate at the same vibration that I do, and they just fall away. And then the people that are meant, because I've shifted, I see different people, more committed people are showing up in my life.
100%. And that's why Isagenix has the Healthy Mind and Body program.
Mm-hmm.
They totally believe in, peeling away the layers and the onions of getting to the root of the problem, things that do hold us back. And we all have that in our life. And we never arrive at the perfect destination. We're always growing. We're always stretching. We're always trying to, get to the next level. Right, guys? Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah. So I want to be mindful for time. We've gone over for a few minutes. I want to thank you so much, Joy, for coming on the call and sharing your insight and your tips, and Chrissy and Janet, for all of you guys who are sharing. I appreciate everyone who's gotten on the call, and we love you guys. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy.